Hey, it's Rob. Welcome to Axel's Garage. I'm down here on the floor in the driveway, working on Cosmo. It's our 2000 Jeep Cherokee, and trying to make it look a little bit nicer. And I was doing some projects today, and now I'm running out of light, so I just wanted to go over removal of these side pieces. What we're doing on this video is we're going to paint these plastic. See how weathered they are? These are supposed to be a dark gray, and they're a light gray, almost white at best from the sun. And the sun really abuses these. But what looks nice on this plastic, if it's done right, black bed liner. So we're thinking, we got a scratched up back bumper. It's a stock bumper. What we're thinking is we'll take these two caps off and we'll sand and prep the bumper and make it all black bed liner and make it look nice for my wife to drive and the twins when they start driving. So getting these caps off, that's what I wanted to cover on this video. That's why I'm doing it as I'm losing the light. But I wanted to cover getting these caps off. Really easy. Bolts usually break though. So you got a 10mm bolt right in the bottom, and it's got a nut on it. So come in here and you're gonna get, there's gonna be stuff in there. There's gonna be like sand and grit and grime and everything like that. So it's gonna get in your face. But anyway, go underneath and get that bolt off. It'll probably break. Can't find it. All right, so that bolt broke right off, and I can't even find it. It's getting that dark. Anyway, it's just a little 10mm nut and bolt. You can use any that will fit in that hole when you put it back together. Even if that thing came apart clean, it was so rusted, I would have opted to go with something else. So now the only other fastener there is a little, it's a 1/4 inch sheet metal screw, and there's a hole right behind the wheel here, and you just come in with a nut driver. You're not going to be able to get a socket in there because it's too much of a tight squeeze through the plastic. But anyway, get that sucker out. Alright, I got that. I still can't find that broken thing. I'm telling you, it had to roll somewhere nearby. Anyway, here's your little baby sheet metal screw that I use with a nut driver. Real tiny. It's got a drill bit end. So I mean, you could use any kind of drill bit ended fastener when you put it back into. You don't necessarily need that. Alright, so once you get the one 10mm bolt here, that's going into the actual the metal part of the back bumper here, and that little sheet metal screw, all you got to do is take this and push it towards the back of the vehicle. Might need a little help, boom, like that, with the heel of your hand, and it pops right off. And there it is. So on the inside you can see that's where that 10mm bolt went through, and on the bottom, and that's the hole for the little baby sheet metal screw that kept it in place. And it's got these plastic grooves here to slide it that way on the bracket. Alright, so before I completely lose the light, I'm going to get the other side off. I am going to prep them for paint, which means clean them and give them a little scuff, and we'll be back with you when I do that. Alright, well, we're out here again with Cosmo, and I think I started this video about 2 weeks ago when I took off the bumper ends, the rear bumper end caps, and we actually got a really nice day in December. It's a little breezy, but it's really mild. So I'm actually a little warm in a sweatshirt. So what I'm going to do is I want to get some work done on this bumper, and we just want to get it clean, give it a good scuff, and maybe where those the bumper end cap side end things where they clip on those brackets, that's a rust spot on these Jeeps. That's starting to rust a little bit, so then I get in there, I'm going to clean really good, and then I can hit this. If I sand it, give it a little scuff, a clean, a scuff, and hit those bracket, you know, the clamps. I'll show you. I'm going to hit them with some rust encapsulator, make sure that doesn't rust up, because it's starting to get a little bit of surface rust. And I'm going to hit the back bumper with bed liner, and I think that'll look nice, and it'll be a little more durable, and it won't show all the nicks and thing. I'm not going crazy and smoothing it out and feathering all the gouges and stuff in the bumper. There's no real dents or anything, just, you know, paint gouges and shit like that. bit of soapy water, scouring pad, and it would be nice if I could take this rubber filler piece off, but that ain't gonna happen because it's sandwiched in between the bumper and the brackets. So I'm just gonna tape around that. All right, so I just got some soapy water with dish soap, and just give it a scrub and a scuff all at the same time. Alright, well that pad that I was using on the drill was one of those like roll-lock abrasive pads that I bought in a set of brushes and scouring pads. I'll link it in the description below. I've used it in other videos. It was like a hacky thing that I bought on Amazon, but it actually turned out to be something that really paid for itself because I actually found a lot of use for it. Alright, so now it's got a good scuff. The reason why I use that is because some of these cuts really, they would like, you know, had like an edge that was lifting a little. So just to, you know, get it nice and, well, as smooth as could be for a quickie job, because this is going to get all nicked up anyway. That's why we're just doing it with black bed liner. And then the good thing is with the black bed liner, you can touch it up really easy. That plastic coat bed liner that we use touches up so nice and easy. That's why we use it on the bumpers of Robbie's K5. Now just I'll blow it all out with air and wipe it out. Wipe it down with acetone. That should be pretty good. All right, just gonna put as a primer a coat of Eastwood's rust encapsulator. I'll link it in the description below. It's supposed to catch all the rust. Now, you got to do this with the gate open because if the gate closed, it overlaps too much. And I ran out of masking paper, so I taped it off. Got most of it covered with the tape, and I'm going to use some cardboard as I spray to keep it off of the stuff I don't want it to get on. It's just a dusting of the encapsulator, so shouldn't be too bad at all. Hopefully I don't get a breeze to kick up. I usually do whenever I start to do something like this. Alright, so I gave it a decent coating on the bumper with the rust encapsulator. I did 2 coats on the side pieces because they're not getting anything other than the new side pieces being put on them, or the new refinished side pieces being put on them. So, clear out that tip. Let this set up for about 10-15 minutes, maybe a half cup of coffee, and then I could put some bed liner on it. Same way, bed liner's only going on the back. I just got to put some cardboard. I might even tape some. Of course, the wind kicks up as soon as I start doing this, but we'll see. Let me let this flash over, and and then we'll do the other side. We'll do the other coat. Well, it's been about a month since we painted this back bumper. Right after we painted it, the next day we got hit with a small snowstorm, and it seemed to hold up pretty well through that. And then we got pegged with a big snowstorm, and it's just dirty right now, but it's actually held up really well. My wife hasn't managed scuffing it, loading stuff in and out, and the texture paint on that bed liner that we use, which is linked in the description below, really hid a lot of the surface imperfections in the bumper, which is going to continue to get beat up. That's why I thought that the bed liner was the best option, because if it gets beat up and scratched up in the future, we could just, you know, tape it off. We don't even have to take the side pieces off, just tape it off and hit it again, and it blends really well. The side pieces, all I did was clean them up, brought them in the garage where it was temperature controlled, and sprayed them with about 3 light coats of the bed liner. And the same thing, if these get scratched or beat up, we can do the same thing and just touch them up pretty easily. Putting them on, if you recall the hardware, there's one bolt that went through a bolt and a nut in the back, and they snapped off on both sides. And then there's a little sheet metal screw that goes in this hole. So the sheet metal screw survived, the nut and bolt didn't, so we got new hardware, and we didn't get anything special on the hardware because this is just a rot area, and a lot of stuff is just going to build up here, and they're going to rust again. They don't break off unless you try to take them off, so you're better off just letting it break off, and you take it off and getting a new bolt, which is, you know, peanuts. So we're going to put the original hardware back on. Getting these on, they pretty much will go on the same way they came off. Going to slide them in so that these top little tabs here in the plastic, all right, will go into the grooves in the bracket here. All right, and that's it. Once you pop it in place, all you got to do is put the 2 screws in, and let's get that done quick. All right, so that's it on this one. I think the hardest part of the job was getting my fat fingers up there with the nut to get those little back bolts on. Other than that, it was pretty easy, pretty straightforward. Using those paints that I use really makes the job a lot easier, and like always, we'll link everything we use in the description below. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you on the next one.